Richardson gets hurt in spring practice.
Kelsey English shows her versatility not only on the court, but on the track as well.
And the cheerleading team is heading to nationals.
CU Sports Mag starts now. Hello everyone, I am Alexis Perry sitting alongside Mike Kerner for CU Sports Mag, and let's start out with the biggest story coming out of spring practice.
Yeah, Paul Richardson, another tough injury for the Buffs. After losing most of their offensive weapons to graduation last season, John Embry and the rest of the CU football team dealt with an even bigger blow on Monday. An MRI confirmed that star wide receiver Paul Richardson will be out for the whole 2012 season after he tore his ACL during practice. Richardson injured his left knee in a non-contact special teams drill during Monday's practice and limped off of the field. He is scheduled to have surgery on April 14th to repair the torn ligaments and hopes to come back strong next year.
Dave, what does this mean for Colorado football? Paul Richardson was a huge player. What does this mean?
Well, obviously his injury is the biggest news coming out of spring football. He tore his ACL. He's going to be out for the season. He's going to have surgery on Monday. But really, it's just a big blow to Colorado's hopes for next season. I talked to him last week in spring practice, and he was really trying to step up and be that leader in practice, trying to get the younger guys to follow in his footsteps as far as the leadership roles go. So, I mean, it's just a big blow.
Who are the players that are going to have to step up in place of Paul Richardson?
Well, obviously, there's a few players coming back from last year's team, and you have Tyler McCulloch, Keenan Canty, and Nelson Spruce. Those guys have gotten a lot of reps in practice so far, and they're really going to have to step up. But you also have three incoming freshmen, Jeffrey Thomas, Peyton Williams, and Gerald Thomas, all three from Texas, with Jeffrey Thomas being the highest-rated recruit. So he's obviously going to have to come in and step up right away in fall practice, and we'll have to see how that pans out.
Definitely. Well, I really hope him for a speedy recovery, that's for sure.
Absolutely.
When it comes to Colorado football, not much has been consistent over the last 4 years. The quarterback position has been the exception to that. Actually, we are going to go ahead and skip to some Sulzer news.
Yeah. Incoming freshman Xavier Johnson will now have a familiar face on the court next winter. Point guard Ellie Stalzer signed his national letter of intent to join the Buffs next year with former teammate Johnson in the backcourt. Stalzer hails from Mater Dei High School in Santa Ana, California, the same school that Johnson is from. During the recruiting of Johnson, head coach Tad Boyle was rather impressed with Stalzer's playing style and offered him a scholarship. Stalzer and Johnson led Mater Dei to the semifinals of California State basketball tournament, and they hope to recruit that success in Boulder in the upcoming years.
Coming up after the break, the CU cheerleaders head to Daytona Beach, Florida for nationals. But first, they give Buff fans one more performance.
And a two-sport athlete is an extremely rare sight in college athletics, and being productive in both is even more rare. SportsMag will show you one of the athletes who is doing their best to reach new heights and excel in a pair of sports as freshmen.
Within reasonable distance, like that. So you're coming in from this angle right there. Coach.
The Peace Corps are usually very adventurous people, very outdoorsy. They usually are very caring, very passionate people.
For the second year in a row, CU Boulder has outproduced all other universities in the nation, both big and small, in the number of alumni who are serving as Peace Corps volunteers. That's a very, very important thing for us.
Peace Corps continues to be the gold standard for international volunteer service. It's Americans making a difference around the world, and many of those Americans have come from this great university.
I'm not sure if it's the beautiful setting or the mountains or the weather, but one thing's for sure, there's a special civic pride on this campus.
The great spirit of volunteerism here on campus and internationalism that you find here really just kind of brings Peace Corps out a little more than it does on other campuses, I think.
You should be very proud to come from a campus that inspires so much public service and collectively works to build a better world.
We won 24 NCAA championships. sent 18 NASA astronauts into space, inspired 4 Nobel laureates, unlocked the genetic secrets of cancer in a place that averages over 300 days of sunshine a year, ranks as America's smartest and healthiest city, and is home to the mightiest mascot in college sports. If you didn't know what the University of Colorado is all about, now you do.
That's right. Do I look like a commingled contender to you? All I want is newspaper.
Why don't you bring that bottle over here? I won't be spitting it back at you.
All right, boy, why don't you bring that bottle over here to commingle so these boys stop bickering and ruin my night.
Buff fans are highly anticipating the spring game this weekend. It's a sneak preview into the upcoming season.
Nick Rothschild and Andy McDonald tell us what to expect in the spring game in this week's Double Team. Take it away, guys.
Hi guys, I'm Andy McDonald sitting alongside Nick Rothschild, and spring is in the air, but that also means football time around here, around Boulder, Colorado, and Colorado football is back in action. You hear the smacking of the pads on the lower practice fields, but talking a little bit about Colorado football, you can't not mention it without bringing up the crucial injury to Paul Richardson.
Yeah, you know, as you guys heard earlier from our resident football expert, David LaRose, Richardson's out, and that's a huge deal for the Buffs offense. I mean, he was the most productive wide receiver out of that offense last year. And coming into this year, Tony Jones is the only guy left that really made any impact in the passing game. So going into the spring game, we're going to have to find someone else to catch balls, whether that's Tyler McCullough, maybe a Nick Casa at tight end. But the biggest thing that Richardson's injury does is it hurts Connor Wood, because he had built a rapport up with Richardson, and now he's got to do all that groundwork again with someone else.
That's true. Connor Wood, the transfer from Texas, a big name coming in here. He had to sit out last year, and he came in here and he's looking for it, and Nick Hirschman gets hurt. Another injury for the Buffaloes, but another job for Connor Wood to really take the reins, and he's going to be running a lot of ones here in the spring game coming up.
Oh, yeah. This is Connor Wood's show. I mean, the guy's going to get all the ones in the spring game, and it's basically going to be his time to show how good he is. And Embry's really going to be looking at whether or not he's ready for a game-type situation against a defense that's really looking to put a pounding on him. I mean, metaphorically, they're not actually going to hit him. But, you know, trying to force turnovers and stuff, it's going to be the first real live action that he's seen. So.
That's right. Connor Wood will be wearing the green number 5. He won't get hit. But spring game, like we always said, it's going to be a different format than an actual game. It will be a lot similar, but it won't be an actual game. They won't do kickoffs. They won't do punts, at least full speed anyways. They'll do a lot of ones versus ones, twos versus twos, ones versus twos to get a lot of reps for players that normally don't get a lot of reps in the spring practice. So talk a little bit about the format and what we're about to see.
Well, as you said, it's not a live game. It's a scrimmage at its core. So obviously their mentality is going to be a little different. They're not going to go in all jacked up like they would for a regular game. But they still are going to have to take it very seriously, because this is that first look, like I said, that all these coaches are going to have in a semi-live situation. So you've got the Connor Woods and the guys that maybe don't have that experience. They're going to be just about as fired up as you can be for a scrimmage. And I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
It's going to be a lot of fun. There's going to be a lot of turnout here. John Embry's second year. And last year, Embry graduated 28 seniors. So there's going to be a lot of new faces. Who are we kind of looking for in the spring game coming up Saturday?
Well, we talked about Wood. Wood's number one guy we're looking at. Other guys, mostly on the defensive side. Uzo Diribe, he's been a force all spring. Let's see what he does in a live game situation. Kyle Washington moved from safety to linebacker. He's taken it on, but we have to see how he does with those guards coming down on him. He's a little bit undersized. So let's see how he does against those offensive linemen trying to block him. And third, Greg Henderson. Stalwart defensive back. Let's see how he does covering the kind of the second tier Buff wide receivers.
That's true, and a lot of defensive faces we're going to be talking about. Buffaloes gave up over 35 points a game last year, and hopefully Brian Cabral has something figured out, and all the staff returns. Is that looking forward to, and Eric Bieniemy kind of getting the offense going, and Brian Cabral kind of figuring things out, players getting a rapport with those coaches?
Oh, keeping the coaching staff the same is huge. When you get a coaching staff that's been together as long as these guys have, they start to know the ins and outs of each other's coaching style, so they can kind of coach off of each other. And keeping these players together with the same coaching staff speaks wonders to their development.
That's true, and we're excited to see it. It's going to be a good turnout. Hopefully a lot of people come out. There will be about, 15,000 was the max last year, and it was really exciting So we're I know I'm excited about Colorado football coming back here and getting going again.
It's football season, Andy. I'm excited. Who's not excited?
That's right. Spring game is coming up Saturday at 5 p.m. So kickoff will be at 5. Well, there's no kickoff, but it will start at 5 p.m. and alumni game before. And that's all the time we have, though. So for Nick Rothschild, I'm Andy McDonald, and we're going to send it back to the desk.
Thanks, Andy and Nick. When it comes to Colorado football, not much has been consistent over the last 4 years. The quarterback position has been the exception to that rule. Tyler Hansen started every game last season and split time with Cody Hawkins over the 3 before that. This year, soon-to-be junior Nick Hirschman is sidelined with a broken foot, so Texas transfer Connor Wood has gotten his chance this spring to impress the coaching staff. SportsMag caught up with the Buffaloes quarterback this week to talk about how spring practice has gone and to look ahead to the spring game.
Gotten a chance to get a lot of the #1 team reps, right. And so it's gotten me a great experience getting with the guys, getting to know my team, and getting timing and that sort of thing. So yeah, it's been great. Yeah, we're a long ways from where we were 2 weeks ago. I mean, we've had huge strides at quarterback position, but also as a team, as offense. But the thing is, we still got to be process focused going forward into the fall. So this thing is not finished yet. There's multiple parts that need to be done before we're ready for Colorado State. Well, they just want us to be the best, and different coaches coach differently. I mean, that's just the way it is. And so, during my sports career, basketball, football, I've had the quieter coaches. I've had the guys that got in your face, and so I've dealt with it all. But you can't let it affect you. You just gotta listen to what they're saying and not the tone of it. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So you just gotta move on. If you did a negative play, move on. If you did a positive play, move on.
What would you say your #1 focus during camp
is to get sort of I don't want to say basic stuff of the offense, but I meant like the protections and the timing on the routes and understanding concepts and coverages and that sort of thing, how they play into our offense. So I mean, they're big things to get my hands wrapped around, but that's where you got to start. Getting this offense for the first time. I just got to keep on doing what I'm doing. There's just, again, be process focused, take each day at a time. We got practice Thursday, so focused on that. And then after Thursday, I'll be focused on the spring game. And, just got a variety of things got to work on, and definitely not there yet, but making headway.
Give a shout out to Kaiwi Crab.
Number 54.
The outdoor track season is in full sprint here at CU. SportsMag's Nick Rothschild caught up with one of the team's rising stars to explore the heights of her success.
While most people reach for the stars metaphorically, Kelsey English jumps. English is a true freshman, but don't let her age fool you. On the track, she's a seasoned veteran. She won the Colorado State High Jump Championship 2 times in high school, setting a school record by jumping 5 feet 9 inches. That's like jumping over CU alum Robert Redford.
No, I don't really think about that because I guess I'm just still taller than the bar. So like other people have told me that, yeah, you could jump over me, like you should try it sometime. I'm like, no.
Even with her high school success, she's still learning.
Before I was just jumping as high as I could to just get over it, but now that there's technique in it, it's a lot more difficult.
In her first season at CU, she's cleared an indoor and personal best 5'10", proving she hasn't lost her hops. Those hops aren't just for track though. In fact, she wasn't even recruited to jump here at CU. For her real forte, let's take a little trip over to the Coors Event Center. And a trip back in time to volleyball season. She's on scholarship for volleyball, and she started 26 out of the 29 games this season. She finished her freshman season ranked 3rd on the team with over 200 points and hopes to propel CU into volleyball relevance in the Pac-12.
I want us to be like not a team that everyone looks over and everything, and that we're really going to make a statement and come out strong and like prove everyone in the Pac-12 that we can beat them.
Her dominance at the net is in part owed to an unorthodox jumping style.
Everyone thinks it's kind of weird that I jump higher off of 1 foot because I should be able to jump off 2 a lot higher, but my vertical is actually like 7 inches higher off of 1 foot.
So we've pulled a lot from her volleyball training to help it make sense for what she's doing off of a single leg here. A lot of it's just drive off the ground and explosiveness. And fortunately, since she's such a competitor and she's willing to attack the net basically in volleyball, we've been able to use that analogy a lot for high jump over here.
1 foot or 2, English is a gifted athlete. But she's not just an athlete, she's also a student, and between two sports and school, well, let's just say busy doesn't begin to describe it.
I have to walk really fast because I have like 3 classes in a row, then practice, and practice before class for volleyball, and practice after class, so I just gotta get everywhere on time.
She faces her challenges head on. Combine that attitude with her raw talent, and quite literally, the sky is the limit for Kelsey English.
It's a very big word to tag onto someone, but I have to use 2 words: aspiring Olympian.
Nick Rothschild, CU Sports Mag.
CU Club Sports have had an impressive spring. Therefore, we'd like to give a big shout out to a few Twitter accounts that help you keep up with all the Colorado club success. We'd like to thank the Buff Club Sports account for keeping followers connected to all the club sports from volleyball to women's soccer. Also, the CU Triathlon team is on the Twitter sphere. The Tri team has won 12 national championships and continue to train this spring in hopes of adding another in 2012. Last but not least, the Colorado Club Rugby team annihilated Wyoming last weekend, 61-31. If you want to see who they host Friday night, follow their account. If you're on the Twitter, make sure you follow us at CU Sports Mag and interact with us for a chance to be mentioned on air.
Who supports the supporters? There are no bigger fans in the Buffs than the cheerleaders themselves. And in a role reversal, the all-girls squad performed in front of a nearly full house at the Carlson Gymnasium before leaving for nationals in Daytona Beach, Florida. Andy McDonald has the exclusive story on their send-off to one of the toughest competitions in collegiate cheering.
CU cheerleading team headed to Daytona Beach for nationals. They performed one last time in front of friends and family.
To hit our routine in front of everyone that we know, it's a great feeling.
The preview of skill, endurance, and of course, its cheerleading enthusiasm will give these Buffs just the edge they need, especially in a competition riddled with talent.
This is our first year in the all-girl division. It's actually the hardest division there.
Which includes the grand champion from a year ago.
I really think we're going to be the wild card this year. No one's ever seen us in this division before, so no one really knows, and so it'll be exciting.
They never know what we're going to bring since we've never been in that division before.
It's seemingly sunshine and smiling faces on the floor in Florida, and the endless repetition by Colorado puts them in a favorable position.
5, 6.
On top, Andy McDonald, CU Sports Mag.
Buff fans now have one more thing to brag about to their CSU friends. There's now going to be a highway named after the famed CU mascot. A Senate committee on Wednesday gave unanimous approval to rename the Boulder Turnpike the Buffalo Highway. US 36 runs east to west between Denver and Boulder. Representative Ken Priola, a CU alum and former Ralphie runner, was one of the sponsors behind the name change. Priola ran with the legendary mascot in the 1990s. The new name highlights how CU Boulder has one of the few live mascot programs in the country.
The University of Colorado's club team placed first and overall at the 2012 East Coast Nationals last weekend. The team has been building a reputation for being a national powerhouse, as it was their second consecutive national title and 6th in the past 7 years. The Buffs picked up the momentum on the first night and kept the lead through the meet. The women placed first and the men took second overall, but it was the diving team's exceptional performance that put the combined team on top. The University of Florida finished in a close second. CU Junior and club president Bruce Danicki said the team broke 11 team records and 5 meet records, winning 11 events in total.
The men's golf team has been in a funk since mid-September, but one tournament in Arizona could have helped them snap out of it. Did they cowboy up in Scottsdale?
And a recent study at CU has given runners a newfound freedom. After the break, we'll show you how trails around Boulder might be testing ground for this experiment.
We won 24 NCAA championships. sent 18 NASA astronauts into space, inspired 4 Nobel laureates, unlocked the genetic secrets of cancer in a place that averages over 300 days of sunshine a year, ranks as America's smartest and healthiest city, and is home to the mightiest mascot in college sports. If you didn't know what the University of Colorado is all about, now you do.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today.
Good nutrition can lead to great things. Find out how a healthy lifestyle can help your child succeed.
Paul Richardson's first 2 years at Colorado were some of the best for a receiver ever. The soon-to-be junior was on pace for 146 catches in his career. But with the recent injury, that marker and a possible broken record is now in question. So that got us thinking, and brings us to this week's trivia question. Who is the all-time receiver in leading receptions at CU? Think about it. He was also the first player to lead the team in receptions for 4 consecutive seasons. We'll have the answer later in the show.
The CU track and field team was busy this past weekend, posting top results in California and Colorado. 10 Buffs were invited to the Stanford Invite in Palo Alto, California. Matthew Beigner led all the Buffs with his first place finish and his heat in the men's 1500. Other notable performances came from Christian Thompson and Hugh Dowdy, who took 4th and 5th respectively in their heats for the 10,000-meter run. Back in Colorado, the team's throwers were competing at Air Force relays in Colorado Springs. Alex Kazarian was the shining star for the Buffs, placing 3rd overall in the shot put and in his first overall in the hammer throw. Both Kazarian's throws were his personal best distances. On the women's side of things, Margot Cray placed 6th in the shot put and Kelly Lynn placed 6th in the hammer throw. CU indoor track and field student athletes stand out for more than their skills on track this season. 19 Buffs were named All-Academic Scholar Athletes for the 2012 season by Mountain Pacific Sports Federation. The selections for the CU included 12 from the women's team and 7 from the men's. Of the women's selections, 6 recorded GPA averages of 4.0 or higher. Junior Jerome Perkins scored the highest GPA for the men's team with a 3.8 average. Wow.
People in Boulder are all about staying in shape, even if it means ditching their sneakers. The current claim is that running barefoot is even better for you than running in shoes. But a recent CU says that might not be the case. News Team's Rose Heafy investigates the latest workout trend.
Kenny isn't like all runners. He's all about the heart and soul of running, or lack thereof.
Switch to barefoot was a painful process, but changed my stride, and now I don't have any issues. I love it.
Kenny's fiance thought she would research the science behind the latest running craze.
He was really excited about it and said, Corbin, you should do a study on this.
She co-authored a recent CU study that tested the efficiency of running barefoot and in lightweight shoes. Scientists added weight to the runner's feet while they ran barefoot and in shoes.
And essentially what we found is that there is no difference. So if you want to run faster, you can choose either.
Lightweight running shoes give runners the extra added comfort with a cushion and extra arch support. Now with barefoot running shoes, runners are able to use the natural muscle movements in their feet. While the energy efficiency between the two shoes is about the same, some runners prefer barefoot running. Shoe experts say running barefoot or in minimalistic running shoes, which protect the feet from harsher terrain, gives runners a different kind of workout.
What it does is it builds strength in your calf because you're lowering your heel down because there's no shoe underneath you, and it also flexes all the parts of your foot.
While there are some health benefits, barefoot running isn't something to jump into.
You can wear it to work and school, but you have to build that strength up.
Once a runner becomes accustomed to the different style, there might be some surprising results.
My foot shrunk from a size 14 to a size 12, so I had to rebuy all shoes, and it was really weird.
When it comes down to it, what wins? Lightweight shoes or barefoot running?
It just feels different. It's different style.
It's all about the right fit. Rose Heafy, CU SportsMag.
The Colorado men's golf team got off to one of the hottest starts in school history. And then they cooled down a little bit. After a second-place finish at the Wyoming Cowboy Classic, they seem to be back on track. Junior Bo Schoolcraft shot the best 54-hole score in Colorado history, but it was only good enough for a tie for third in the tournament. The Buffs finished behind Kansas State by just 2 strokes and easily their best performance since September. Now CU will head into the Pac-12 championships with some much-needed confidence. When we return, will the weather be as good this weekend for the spring football game?
Audie Streeman has this week's weather report coming up next.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today.
Good nutrition can lead to great things. Find out how a healthy lifestyle can help your child succeed.
Late night studying? Relying on caffeine to keep you awake throughout the day? According to researchers at Brown University, a shocking 89% of college students nationwide struggle to get the necessary 8 hours of sleep recommended each night. Getting a full night's rest promotes a healthy immune system, supports memory function, and restores energy. Sleep is not a waste of time, and sleep deprivation can have serious negative effects on your academic performance and social life. 8 hours. Get some.
Dude. It wastes energy to leave everything on. It's simple. Just turn it off before you go to sleep.
Do your part. Be energy smart.
I know you've been thinking about that trivia question and wondering what the answer is. To refresh your memory one more time, the question was, who is the all-time receiver in leading receptions? And the answer? With 215 career receptions, Scotty McKnight holds the CU record. McKnight now plays for the New York Jets, but the record is still not completely safe, as Richardson will likely come back from the injury with a vengeance.
A couple of showers didn't damper an all-around sunny week here in Boulder. As Audie Streetman will show us, we may be in for a spell of more rain.
And not just that, an umbrella, or rather a winter jacket, might be coming back out of the closets. Take it away, Audie.
Here in Boulder, we've seen some really nice temperatures over the past 2 weeks, highs in the 70s. We've also seen some sunny, clear skies, but things are about to change. If we want to look forward to the next 4 days of our forecast, you can see Friday, we see a high of 68 degrees, partially cloudy skies, but we're going to cool down. We know the spring game is going to be on Saturday. We have a slight chance of rain, so you may want to bring a poncho or an umbrella to the game because it is going to cool down a little bit. High of 66, low of 34, and then Saturday night, we're going to cool down quite a bit. We're going to see that rain turn into some snow on Sunday with a high of 46 degrees and a low of 25. Monday, we're going to warm up again to 55 degrees, partially cloudy skies, and it's going to be a great weekend. If you're able to go up to the high country, I suggest you head to Vail Resort. It is their last weekend of skiing and snowboarding. Highs will be 52 degrees. We're going to see some snow as well up in the high country, so some great weather to get in some last runs before the season is over. Copper Mountain is going to see a high of 36 degrees on Saturday, a low of 19, and some more snow as well. So it's going to be a great weekend. Definitely get up to the mountains if you can. But otherwise, that's all I have for weather, and we'll take it back to the desk.
Well, thank you so much for joining us here at CU Sports Mag. I'm Alexis Perry, sitting alongside Mike Kerner. We'll see you guys next week.